The upcoming episodes of The Bold and the beautiful promise to unravel a complicated web of lies, manipulations, betrayals, and shocking twists that will leave the lives of several characters forever altered. As the week of April 28th through May 2nd unfolds, emotions will reach fever pitch, alliances will be tested, and decisions made in the heat of the moment will set off a chain reaction of irreversible consequences. It all begins when Katie Logan, ever the vigilant protector and unrelenting champion for justice when it comes to those she cares about, becomes increasingly concerned about Carter Walton. Carter, who once shared a deep and genuine connection with Katie, still holds a soft spot in her heart. Though their romantic relationship had ended, Katie's feelings of protectiveness had never wavered. She had watched with wary eyes as Daphne, the enigmatic and dangerously alluring woman who seemed to emerge from nowhere, slithered her way closer to Carter, whispering promises of a future that only she could provide. Daphne's resemblance to Steffy Forrester was unnerving enough, but her behavior stealthy, calculated, predatory set every alarm bell in Katie's mind ringing. Daphne was trouble, of that Katie was certain, and it wasn't long before her instincts were proven right. Katie would witness firsthand the beginning of Daphne's latest seduction attempt, finding herself in the wrong place at the wrong time, or perhaps the right place, if fate had anything to say about it. One afternoon, when Katie approached Carter's office at Forrester Creations, intending only to drop off a forgotten document, she paused outside the door, startled by the scene unfolding inside. Through the slight crack in the doorway, she saw Daphne leaning into Carter, capturing his lips in a passionate kiss that spoke not only of desire, but of deep manipulation. Carter, surprised, did not immediately push her away, torn by the chemistry and confusion Daphne always seemed to stir within him. Katie recoiled in disgust, her heart pounding in her chest. This was more than simple flirtation. Daphne had set her sights on Carter with ruthless determination, and Katie knew she could no longer sit by and watch it happen. She retreated silently, her mind already racing with plans to expose the truth and protect Carter before it was too late. Her opportunity came sooner than expected. Days later, while wandering the halls of Forrester Creations, Katie once again stumbled upon an incriminating moment. This time, it was not a stolen kiss, but a conversation low, conspiratorial, and utterly damning. Concealed just around the corner, Katie listened as Daphne and Zend Forrester Dominguez spoke in hushed tones, believing themselves to be alone and unobserved. What Katie heard made her blood run cold. Daphne, it turned out, had not come to Los Angeles by accident. She had been summoned, recruited, even by Steffy Forrester herself. Steffy, determined to wrest control of Forrester Creations from the Logan influence once and for all, had orchestrated Daphne's arrival with a specific and nefarious purpose: to infiltrate Carter's life, win his trust, and ultimately convince him to turn against Hope Logan. Hope, who had been growing ever closer to Carter both professionally and personally, represented a threat Steffy was unwilling to tolerate. Daphne's mission was clear: sever the bond between Hope and Carter, drive a wedge between them, and return power squarely into Forrester hands. Worse yet, Daphne had been lying to Carter since the moment she set foot in Los Angeles, weaving a tangled web of deceit designed to entrap him emotionally and professionally. Katie's hands trembled as she pressed them against the wall, her breath coming in shallow gasps. The depth of Steffy's betrayal stunned her, but it was Daphne's cruelty that sickened her most. And Carter, dear, trusting Carter, had no idea he was merely a pawn in their calculated game. Determined not to let the conspiracy continue, Katie decided then and there that she would confront Daphne directly. She would not allow the lies to fester any longer. Seizing her moment, Katie cornered Daphne in one of Forrester's less trafficked corridors, her posture rigid, her voice sharp with righteous fury. "You've been lying to Carter since the moment you met him," Katie said, her eyes flashing. "And I heard everything, every word. Your little arrangement with Steffi. Your plan to destroy Hope. All of it." Daphne's expression faltered for a moment before she composed herself, offering a smirk that barely concealed her nervousness. "You don't understand," Daphne began smoothly, but Katie cut her off. "Oh, I understand perfectly," Katie hissed. "You're just another manipulator pretending to care while using people as pawns. And I'm not going to let you get away with it." The confrontation escalated quickly. Daphne, cornered and exposed, tried to defend herself by claiming her feelings for Carter had evolved beyond the original plan, that somewhere along the way, what she felt became real. She insisted that her affection for Carter was genuine now, that she no longer cared about Steffi's original motives. But Katie was unmoved. To her, Daphne's claims rang hollow, another carefully constructed lie meant to salvage whatever foothold she still had in Carter's life. Katie vowed then and there to tell Carter everything. True to her word, Katie sought out Carter, her heart heavy with the knowledge of the pain she was about to cause. When she finally sat him down and relayed the entire sordid story, Steffi's recruitment, Daphne's deceit, the manipulation designed to turn him against Hope, Carter's face darkened with a fury Katie rarely witnessed. He felt used, betrayed, humiliated. Without wasting a moment, Carter confronted Daphne, demanding answers, demanding explanations that she, with all her practiced charm, could not provide convincingly enough to undo the damage. In a fiery argument, Carter ended whatever fragile relationship had been forming between them, his voice hard with finality as he told Daphne to stay away from him. Daphne was devastated. Her carefully constructed world had crumbled around her. Yet fate, ever capricious, was not finished with her or with Carter. In the days following their confrontation, Daphne discovered she was pregnant. At first, she didn't believe it. It seemed impossible, given that she and Carter had only crossed that line once in a moment of weakness and longing. But the blood tests were irrefutable. Daphne was carrying Carter Walton's child. Conflicted and terrified, Daphne arranged to meet Carter, summoning the courage to tell him the truth. When she finally did, Carter's reaction was as complex as the situation itself. His initial shock was undeniable. He reeled from the revelation, struggling to process what it meant for his future. But beneath the shock, a deeper emotion stirred joy. Despite everything, despite the lies and betrayal, the prospect of fatherhood awakened something in Carter that had long lain dormant: hope, purpose, a future beyond the heartbreaks of his past. With trembling hands, Carter took Daphne's hands in his own and made a decision that surprised even him. He would not abandon his child. He would not abandon Daphne. Whatever had passed between them, a new life was growing, a life that deserved a chance. Carter proposed marriage. Word of Carter's engagement spread rapidly, igniting a fresh wave of gossip and speculation across Forrester Creations. But perhaps no one was more blindsided than Hope Logan, who returned to Los Angeles just as the announcement broke. Hope, realizing too late that her feelings for Carter had never truly died, sought him out, desperate to rekindle the connection they once shared. She begged for another chance, pouring out her heart with trembling hands and tear-filled eyes. Carter, torn, found himself caught between two women and two futures. His heart still yearned for Hope in many ways, but his sense of duty and a growing, genuine affection for the life he and Daphne had created anchored him firmly to his new path. When Hope learned of Daphne's pregnancy, her devastation was compounded by rage. Daphne had stolen more than Carter's love, she had stolen his future. And though hope was not naturally vindictive, grief has a way of twisting even the purest hearts. In her darkest moments, Hope found herself wondering if something happened to Daphne's pregnancy, if the obstacle between her and Carter vanished, would fate finally realign itself in her favor? Tempted by desperation and heartbreak, Hope stood on the precipice of a dangerous decision, one that could alter not only her life, but the lives of everyone around her forever. And as May approached, with secrets festering, alliances shifting, and hearts breaking, one truth became increasingly clear. In the glittering, treacherous world of the bold and the beautiful, love and loyalty are never simple, and the price of betrayal is always paid in blood, tears, and broken dreams.
Oh,